I live in a very liberal area. Most of the people are drugged, either on Prozac-related compounds, cocaine, marijuana, crank. It's hard to say. They're all white middle-class liberals, the type that still drive around with Obama, Biden bumper stickers and think that they're doing just swell. So I'll give you an example of the kind of things you put up with in liberal communities. Here's an article in a local newspaper. It says, sea lions swarming long abandoned seal rocks. It says they can hear the sea lions off seal rocks on Ocean Beach, and they're saying, I've never seen mass clumps of sea lions like this. Now, normally, that would be a good thing, that there's an awful lot of sea lions. But because liberals believe in, well, we don't know what they believe in. I think they believe in global warming. And, of course, this should be something good that there's a lot of sea lions, right, to a lib? They're turning it into something bad because the sea lions are making a lot of noise, disturbing their seances. Last night I go into a restaurant, little fish joint. I wanted to just slip in, slip out, have a piece of fish, an overpriced piece of garbage, $16.95 for a sliver of ahi, mahi, wahi, dahi, duhi. You know, everything's cutesy-wootsy. They rip you off in the Bay Area wherever you go on food. The people take it because they're schmucks and they don't answer back. So the young lady serving me looks like a nice kid. I try to talk to people. They don't know who I am naturally because on radio no one knows who you are. And I ask her this, I ask her that. So I said, well, what are you doing? You go to school? Yes, I'm going to a junior college. I said, what do you hope to do? She said, well, I want to go on and get an MSW. I said, that's nice. And what are you going to do with that? She says, well, I want to teach people how to work the system. I said, oh, really? I said, but the system's broke. There's nothing left to work. She says, well, there's plenty left to work, and I want to show people how to work the system. Classic left-wing Marin County brat raised by hippie, pot-smoking, left-wing bums who work the system their whole life, teaching this child to work the system when there's no system left because it's been milked dry. So I said, you're working a very hard job here, aren't you? You're not working the system. You're working two jobs. Why would you teach someone how to work the system who doesn't want to work at all? She says to me, well, that's an interesting way to look at it, and she walks away in a huff. Nobody confronts these people with reality. Liberals and their children don't know what world they're living in. They haven't any idea what world they're living in. Play some music.
All the stories have been told of kings in days of old, but there's no England now. All the wars that were won and lost somehow don't seem to matter very much anymore. All the lies we were told.
Yes, I'm playing Living on a Thin Line because there's no England anymore, especially under the libs. Turn it off. It's a British song. I'd rather play American music. It's Rock and Roll Friday. Play some good old-fashioned American rock and roll. That's it. The way rock and roll was before the British came in and completely changed it. Play it louder.
I'd like to wake up and ride.
This is how we played in America. Loud, blasting down the freeway. When the chrome was thick and the women were straight. Oops. Is that illegal to say? Okay, now give me some Speedo. I haven't heard that in a while.
Boom, 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 boom.
Not bad. Break that record. I forgot why I hadn't played it in a while. No good. Give me something else. That's nice. It's fast enough. Listen to these guys. What are they doing today? If they're not dead, they're playing at a casino somewhere or a retirement home. It's depressing. Cut it out. Give me some Rammstein instead. We're all living in America. Much better. America is wunderbar. We're all living in America. All right, I've said this before. It's not gone through anyone's head. You know something? 15 years in the radio, I have learned certain things. I'm going through a lot of searching, soul searching, not self-doubt. I've always had self-doubt in my life. That's what's kept me sane and kept me an honest man. But I've not been as soul-searching as I've been recently because I realize that what I'm going through now with the Banned in Britain thing is an epic battle, and it's my last battle. It's the biggest battle of my life. It'll be my last battle, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to win one way or the other, but I may not. In other words, it's good to have hubris, it's good to have confidence, but a man fighting a government, when you have a government as, let us say, intractable as the Labour government is in England today, who fights not by the Marquis of Queensberry rules, but by the rules of the Third Reich in how they smear people. I mean, they released the Lockerbie bomber, a man who killed 250 people, and they sent him home for compassionate reasons and merciful reasons. And me, they put on a list with murderers and terrorists to balance the list out so the Muslim terrorists don't feel bad. So that's what I'm facing. But I'm saying, I'm going through this analysis of myself, and I'm saying, well, what have you learned in all the years you've been on the radio? You've been on the air 15 years. You've said everything you really believe, and you say it forcefully, you say it succinctly, and you say it with belief, and the people love you, and they've rewarded you, they listen to you, they buy your books. What have you learned, though? I learned that you can be very truthful, and you could also lose. I've learned that being direct and blunt and truthful is not only the best way to get what you want. I have learned that if I were more devious, I might have gotten more out of this career and more out of this situation. But I can't be any other way. This is it. A, I'm an Aries. B, I am who I am. C, I was raised the way I was raised. D, I had the background that I had being born in the Bronx to relatively poor people and having to come up the hard way. So I can only be the way I am. I can't be a clever, wise guy from a private school who learned how to screw people over by duplicitousness. I can't do it. Perhaps I should have learned younger how to give people a double talk like an average San Franciscan who smiles to your face and puts a knife in your back. You know, the kind of gentlemanly approach that you see all over the city. I noticed from the day I got here in 1974, full of ex-hippies that give you a big smile up front with the hand out, and behind them they have a hand with a knife in it. You know, A2 Brutus. So you got to be very, very guarded with people who are very nice, because often, what do I have to tell you, what you don't know already? Like the guy who sold fake art on Union Square, who just got caught selling fake Miro prints. The whole city is Queen Anne front and Mary Ann behind. The entire city is filled with houses that are gorgeous from the front, but they're all stage sets. When I first got here, there was a gay realtor I knew, a really nice guy, and he laughingly said to me, oh, yes, he said, the city's filled with houses that have Queen Anne fronts and Mary Ann behinds, which I thought was hilariously funny, but it was socially very apt. I mean, it actually said it like it is. And that's San Francisco. It's all one giant stage set full of crap. And that's who Nancy Pelosi is, in my opinion. She is the richest woman in the Congress, and she acts as though she's on the side of the poor. Obama acts like he's Robin Hood, out to rob from the rich to give to the poor. We find out that his chief of staff and his other friends from Chicago are making millions of dollars from companies that they left behind that their children are in, and you fall for this, huh? Well, then I have a good Queen Anne front, Mary Ann behind house for sale, and a fake Miro print. Meet me on Union Square at 10 o'clock tonight. I'm Michael Savage. I'll be right back.
The Savage Nation. Download the podcast at 910KNEW.com.
I told you the other day that the ABC newsman, Charles Gibson, won't talk to Cindy Sheehan because she's still against the war. She hasn't stopped protesting the way most liberals have. She's a leftist of the first order, but at least she's consistent. Listen to her call out Obama on Afghanistan. Go, girl.
The only change I've seen in foreign policy is, unfortunately, things are getting worse in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and we just need to be, in the anti-war movement, we need to revive our anti-war sentiment, because people are dying, our soldiers are dying, and we need to give the president the moral backbone he needs, because we have the moral high ground saying it was wrong under George Bush, and it's still wrong under Barack Obama.
Now, you've heard me talk about the military-industrial complex. Well, she talks about it here as well.
People are profiting. The military-industrial complex and the war profiteers still profit, whether it's in Iraq or Afghanistan. There's got to be ways that we can do this strategically that doesn't involve violence. And Barack Obama, I'm saying, he is a bright person. He's an intelligent person. Can we figure something out that doesn't involve killing innocent people?
Yeah. And meanwhile, Obama keeps up the propaganda of why we're in Afghanistan.
America, our allies and partners, and above all, the Afghan people.